Hello, everybody. It's been quite a minute. How have you been? Praise has been well. She is happy. She's excited because she has had, this seeming new season that's unfolding for her. So, yeah, she's happy. It's just a season of being happy. It's not like anything new has happened, but then it's actually, it's a novelty even for me. I'm enjoying this new space. I am happy. Praise is in a happy place. So I hope all of us also are in, new space, hopefully of one where we have now chosen to, start our own journeys of healing or, gain more courage on the matter. I hope this is a new, space for someone to decide that I'm not going to be remaining stuck in the victim mindset anymore. Yeah, because we're going to be building on the post that I put up last week that was a little write-up I put up that was entitled Change Your Mind. Did I title Change Your Mind? I don't quite remember. But what I know is that what I was talking about on that post was, an encouragement for someone to change their mind. What do I mean when I'm talking about someone changing their mind? I was, bringing out the fact that the things that we've been through have a way of, molding us in a certain direction. They've a way of, coaxing us into a certain thinking pattern that causes for us to end up thinking that we are, unworthy, of less value, all because we've been through traumatic experiences. And so when you're changing your mind, you are now choosing to go back and actually re-look at how you've been thinking about yourself, rethink the mind or the mindset you have been, moving around with. That's what change your mind is talking about. Oh my goodness. Our summer is back. Not so back, but very back. So I'm noticing the mosquitoes are back and stuff. Hello, Jonathan. How are you? Thank you for your consistency. It blesses me so much, because you always show up. I even noticed when I put up the post late last week that I won't be showing up here. You're one of the people actually, responded to that with an emoji, like it means you're actually looking out for this. Yes. Thank you so much for that. I am really blessed by your consistency. So I was saying the encouragement from that post is what we're going to be talking about today. How does one change their mind? Well, we're going to use an illustration, an example that I've seen doing the rounds. I've seen it, motivational speakers using it. I have seen, a lot of people post it up quite a lot. So it's the one I'm going to use tonight. Like they would take up, a dollar bill, like a $50 note or $100 note. And what they would do, they would ask like people in the crowd, who wants this note, like raise it in their hand. Oh, I should have just taken a note to like show my example practically. Yes. And then who doesn't love money? Many hands would go up when this person would ask, the speaker would ask, who would love a $100 note? Many hands would be raised like that, right? And then this speaker then crushes this note in their hand. Like when it's now crumpled like that in his hand, he actually raises it again. Who still wants this, $100 bill? And still the hands are raised up. Not even less, probably even more hands are raised up, And then he takes the note, throws it on the ground, and actually crushes it with his foot like that. It's now dirtied, yes? Because, the sole of our shoes, obviously, they go through so many spaces. And then he asks again, who still wants this $100 bill? Guess what? The hands are still raised. So you see, this example has been used to prove that no matter how dirtied a $100 bill becomes, or how crumpled it looks, with the creases and whatnot, or even if maybe it's torn even a little at the corner, people would prefer to stick it up with the glue. But they will not now say, I no longer want this $100 bill, or because it's dirty, or it's a bit torn, or it has been crushed in someone's hand. You see what I'm talking? Hey, I'll need a chitenge here, because it seems the mosquito is really being mean tonight. Yeah. Allow me to wrap my legs in a chitenge, because I may not stay here long, because I'll be concentrating on trying to soothe the itch on my legs. Yes. So going back to our discussion for tonight, we are saying the realization that this $100 bill remains a $100 bill will cause for people to still want to have it for themselves. They would still want the speaker to give it to them, because they are saying, probably they're thinking, I'll just wipe it up, wipe up the dirt a bit, I'll straighten it up, and I'll go and buy myself probably a nice dress or two. For some of us, I would get myself a dress, a pair of shoes, and a matching handbag. I'm into color blending with the clothes, the bags, and the shoes like that. So the same with us as human beings. We are saying whatever value that we have had, the gifts that are within us, they have never been taken away because we have been raped, or we have been sexually exploited, or we have been through whatever trauma that you think, is the worst. Yeah, I could go on and on about, the disappointing experiences I've had in my life. I could go on and on. And I will admit on this page that for a long time, I used to be one of the people who would carry myself in a way that says, I feel I identify with the negativity that these experiences brought about in my life. I became that negativity. So much that I would be the $100 bill to actually run away from, anyone would want to actually get this $100 bill and use it for something of value, because I told myself, praise, you can never even amount to anything because of 1, 2, 3, counting my, the troubles that I've been through. I've been one person to even isolate myself from relationships. I'd be the one to even decide, no one would really want to relate with praise. And so what I would do is to be the one to shut people out first. You see, that's the $100 bill, which thinks just because I've been crumpled in someone's hand and thrown to the floor, I'm no longer of any value. That's the mindset that I'm encouraging us to work on. How we start to think negatively of ourselves is what we need to address if we're ever to move forward from the pain of the traumatic experiences we've been through, the pain of someone forcing themselves on you. We will need to start to change our minds about how we view ourselves as human beings. We will need to decide that I still have things of value within me that I can even share to change the world. Say maybe you have a gift of singing, I'm tempted to actually use Tamar's example. Like, she may have had, like David's daughter in the Bible, she may have had you know, a gift of being a singer so much that she would maybe be able to play the tambourine, but she chose to throw that all away, all because her half-brother sexually abused her. You see what we lost out on. We never got to know the Tamar beyond the sexual abuse she experienced. And that could be the story of so many of us. It used to be my story. Like I'm saying, I used to be a person who would love isolation like that. I would be a person who would love to just remain in the shadows in a way. You know, like I can be in a crowd. I think some people need to be in a crowd with me to understand what I'm talking about. I could be in a crowd, you know, and be so quiet, like literally invisible to the people. You know, in a crowd, usually people are just, you know, chatter, that happy talking between people. People are just chatting each other up. People are, you know, getting to know each other, you know, introducing themselves around the place. I can be just seated at a seat somewhere, even in the middle of the room. It doesn't have to be like at a corner or whatever. I can be right in the middle of the room, but my demeanor, the aura around Praise will be saying Praise is in her own world, even though she's in a crowd. So, you know, like I've been explaining for a while, that the energies we project around us, they will mean that people may decide, hey, let's leave her alone, because really the air about me will be saying, leave me alone. You see, but you know, from the time I decided that, no, this is not a way to live, I've become so comfortable in isolation that for a long time I used to even argue in my head, like, do I really need to you know, be talking to people that much? Or I would justify myself, not to say I'm saying they are beneath me, no. I would actually justify what I'm doing by claiming, oh no, they already have so many people around them already. Why would I, like, you know, force myself into their space? Force? I remember when I was new at Glenora Zayoja Church, that's the church I go to. The district pastors there, those are like the head pastors at the place. The pastors Natsa, they were there at the time. So the Mama Rose, I call her Mama Rose, Pastor Rose Natsa, Rosemary. She used to relate quite well with my cousin, sister, and her husband. They're the ones I'd come to stay with it for that year. It was a year after my rehabilitation school, you know. So when I came along, they introduced me to her. You know, this is my sister. That's my cousin's sister introducing me. So she took me up as her own child like that. She's like, so you're now my daughter also, because your sister and her husband are our children. But then, you know, when we would have service, you know, as the lead pastors at the church, you know how people crowd the mama pastor and the pastor at the place, you know, the elders, the deacons. So what I would do, I would not go to greet her, you know, after church. Like a child would just go and say, hello mama, how are you? But me, I would justify myself, like, you see the crowd that's around her, you know, and you see those are the elders of the church, those are the deacons of the church. I wouldn't be able to fit there. It's me having a conversation with myself like that. So I wouldn't greet her. I would just, like, you know, slither away, disappear in the crowd, and just leave her alone like that. You know what she would do? She would text me later during the week, I didn't see you at church. Were you at church on Sunday? I'm like, yes, I was there. So how come you didn't greet me? Is that how a daughter behaves? You know, she would go on and on like that. And sometimes she would even, you know, call my brother-in-law and my sister to like, they'll be like, she would be like to them, ask Praise, do I still have a daughter? What daughter does not even text and say hi mom? What kind of child is that? So these thoughts that I'm sharing with you today, I'm going back there because I'm actually realizing it's such people who have reached out to me, who have had me learn how to change my mind about how I relate with people. Because you are seeing how I justified my isolation would be like me claiming these people wouldn't really want anything to do with me. I have already decided for them. As a way of justifying myself, as a way of, remaining in isolation, because I just don't think I am of so much value someone would want even to have, to call me their daughter like that. I would be like, oh no, they have more important people around them. But then she was able to crush that point with me. You see, she was able to get over that boundary in a way that I couldn't continue in that same excuse. That would mean the next Sunday I was going to make sure she actually sees me. I'll be like, how are you, mama? How is home? How are the kids? Whatnot. To make sure she sees me, because if she didn't, she would make sure she actually follows me up like that. So these are some of the things, we put ourselves in spaces of isolation, of reducing our true worth based on our own thinking, and then we get to impose that negativity on the people around us. And the sad part is that they will actually be thinking it's us who don't want anyone in our space. And so most people, to tell the truth, they leave you alone. They leave you alone like that, because it's not many people will be understanding, the inner battles you'll be going through, the struggles you are having, even accepting that you can be, a person of value in spite of what you have been through. So it is up to you now to decide that you are now going to be a person who is the first to actually reach out, who decides when they're in a crowd, they're going to put away their phone and go around and mingle and just say hi to people, go around, just say hi and praise. And most of the time, someone will volunteer their name also to you. And if they don't, you can always smile and say, may I know what your name is? And giggle a little like this, It works. It does. Change your mind means you're going to decide that you are still a person of worth in spite of all that you have been through. It will mean you are going to decide to actually seek out the help that will help you, overcome the negative mindset that you have built over years. What I would tell you is that the journey is not going to be easy. I don't want to lie. The journey is never easy. But then we are saying the pain of walking down the path of healing is way better than, going the rest of your life, carrying the heavy load of pain within. Always replaying what you have been through. And then he came into my room the other night and then he gagged me. Most of those guys, they like shut you down so that you don't even scream. And the mean things they say to you, threatening you, and even telling you no one will believe you. And even if no one believes you, this is a gift. Changing your mind is a gift you're giving yourself, It's a gift that says, I am choosing to move forward in spite of all I have been through. I will not remain being a victim of circumstances, You are telling yourself, I have more to life outside of the negative experiences I've been through. Like that. That's the gift you give yourself, by choosing to start walking the path of healing. Like that. You will need help. Yes. Oh yeah, yesterday was the International Day of Friendship, and it had me, appreciating those people who were there to actually just listen to me go on and on, when I used to have more pity parties than I sought solutions. I thank God that they chose to actually just hang in there. And now they get to reap the benefits of a happy praise. You know, the happiness I was talking about, I've been realizing I had one really hard, you know, space a few weeks back. I think it's the other Saturday and this last Wednesday. Yes, there's an aspect of my story that I've been struggling with. Yeah, the one I actually have been saying I'm not ready to share, and I don't know if I'll ever be ready to share. But just know praise is a part of a story which really weighs her down. I got to raise it with Dr. Kadochi, the man who's helping me on the, you know, mental health aspect of my journey. Psychotherapy, some call it neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff in there, but very helpful stuff. It's just, you know, methods of, it's a packaging of methods on how to, you know, really address the deep wounds within. Some wounds which we have even chosen, you know, like I mentioned in one of these videos, that it's those wounds that we may have even forgotten about, because probably your subconscious mind, which controls 97% of your behavior, of your thought patterns, of your thought processes, basically, is the one that controls your life. And that's where all your memories are stored. And if your subconscious mind actually thinks you are not ready to heal, you may even have forgotten those things that happened. But then the emotions attached to those things that happened to you are the ones that live within you. That's when you will realize maybe you are just a perpetually angry person, or you are always a sad person. Every behavior that's, you know, from other people. Let's say the example that I love to use, the blue ticks. You always, you know, interpret those as being ignored or being rejected. Such kinds of thought processes, those are the manifestations of those things that you have not worked on. You know, those negative experiences, they're the ones that birthed these negative thought processes that have you interpreting the world in a negative manner. You know, these things have solutions, you know, like I'm talking about the psychotherapy, you know. So what it does, what it has been doing for me really, is to open those wounds afresh. The pain, I don't want to lie, the pain is you know, have you ever experienced pain that feels like your heart is actually being, you know, ringed like this, twisted, like how we do clothes when we are, you know, squeezing the water out when doing laundry? It's the pain is so much that you actually, like, sometimes feel like you actually wish, if only I could, like, just remove my heart from in here and place it there until the pain resolves. I actually get to have those experiences, and sometimes they just sneak up on me, you know, like the episode I'm describing, like the other Saturday, not this one, the other one. It snuck up on me. It was just a, you know, a catching up chat with him, and somehow our conversation went in a direction of a matter that I had tried to reach out to him over back in February, and I actually reached out to someone else, you know. And I thought, to be entirely honest, I thought the chat that I had with the lady pastor that I talked to was enough. I actually thought I had, you know, dealt with that issue and it was now okay. But, you know, I broke down, and it was so tough on me that I was even shocked. I was telling Doc, like, I thought I had resolved this, but now it's here like this. And sometimes I get overly apologetic. The fact that I've been, you know, braving this whole matter on my own, I feel bad having to, you know, I feel like I'm laying my burden on someone else. Even if, you know, it's not that he complains, because he's actually, that's why he's actually here, you know. He's here to help me resolve those tough, to have those tough conversations with me, to actually like literally reopening the wounds. That's what he's here for. But I actually feel guilty most of the times when I break down like that. I end up, you know, like trying to change the subject. I remember on that weekend we took longer than we should have, so I was even encouraging him, like, maybe we can just hang up this call and just leave this thing alone. But he because it's his area of specialty, he doesn't allow me to shut the matter up. He actually encourages for me to cry it out, to continue to speak, because that's how we get to resolve those emotions, the negative emotions I was telling you that are like actually remain alive in our bodies and become the language that we speak and become the attitude that we have. The more we get to resolve those things, the lesser the weight on us, you know. We get to feel even a lightness about us, because the weight is you choose to be addressing each of the negative emotions, negative thought patterns. You actually get to start viewing your life in a way that shows you life really is beautiful. It is just you who had shades, you know. When you wear those dark shades, you know, all you are seeing is this, you know, dimmed light. But the moment you remove them, you will notice that the sun is actually very bright. This is a simplified expression for what it looks like when you decide you're going to clean out the filters of how you view life. And how you clean out these filters is to deal with the negative the negativity, I must say, that you have carried regards what you have been through. We're saying, yes, what you have been through is painful, it's embarrassing, it's shaming, it causes for you to be angry, but then it does not have to define who you are or who you can become, you know. I once mentioned how I tried to live a life that's thrown away, you know. I tried to be careless with my life, but somehow I got this harnessing that brought me back to the straight and narrow. This is my story, you know. And what I mean here when I'm saying being careless is doing things that are out of your character, you know. Like the example I use, like some people who choose to become, you know, commercial sex workers. If you actually sit down with those people, sometimes you'll find that really it's not their desire to be living such a life. You'll find that there's a story of pain that's unresolved that has driven them to this pathway, like a way of like saying, oh, whatever, what does it matter even if I don't, you know, trade my body for money. Already I've been devalued by this man who abused me. You see what it does when pain, you know, is the one that's speaking to your situation. It becomes to dictate even how you carry your life. This is why it's so important. Like this is why I show up here to try and encourage somebody to choose to you know, change their mind about how they view themselves, about the value they believe they have, you know. Because when you do that, you'll find that life has so much more to it than what you have been through. When you shift your focus from what has happened to you to finding the solutions of how to heal from what you have been through, you find that your world becomes brighter. Like I was mentioning when I started this video that I am happy because after that very rainy Saturday, like emotional rain, because it was tough. I remember even on the Wednesday, I actually was on this platform. I was leading this program. I had to ask for, I requested for help. Like, I need help because I was breaking down again. You see what it does? When you open up a wound, that means it becomes an evolving, the movement does not stop. The waves of pain or whatever emotion that you have to address, they do not stop until you are really, cleansed inside. And it comes in stages. Like I'm saying, I've had these episodes before, and just when sometimes I actually mention, like, just when I think now praise is okay, there's another aspect of my story that gets opened up, and it leaves me no choice but to actually look it in the face and address it. And I don't want to lie, after addressing those very painful matters in my life, I come back with this lightness that I feel like there's more. Yeah, I once mentioned like how when you open your window and your door, how the fresh air release like circulates more in, it comes in, more fresh air comes in because you've removed what was clogging, what was blocking it from flowing freely within you. You see, like that. That's what healing does for you, and that's what I'm encouraging someone to do. Choose to change your mind and take the necessary steps towards healing. And the one of the you may have to even pay for the services that you get, but I actually believe that it's worth it, because I have been blessed with a lot of freebies in this space. I'm so grateful. In the morning, I was actually just having a moment of gratitude. I could have created a post. I don't know why my day got busy at work. My goodness, our department is usually not busy, but today I'm coming from the word round there. I'm thinking, now I can, replay some of the videos. I love writing notes, but for some of the videos I've been watching these past days, I haven't been able to write because, I'll be in a hurry probably to prepare for work. And so I do replays and then actually write notes, but I actually failed to do that because our department just got flooded. And I even came for breakfast at 1 p.m. Lunch hour. I had to I skipped tea time today because our department was loaded like that, but before that I had actually thought to do a write-up of gratitude, because I was really thinking how I have experienced so much comfort. Remember I mentioned that I believe in God, so I actually talk about him a lot. Yeah, you will get used to it. I was having this thought pattern that was showing me how I have been comforted. God has brought people around me who just choose to be kind to me. And most of the time, I don't want to lie, I'm not a person who has been coming out telling my story of how I've been through sexual abuse and all that. I've been a person who has told myself I am strong enough. I don't want to be pitied, So for a very long time, it's only last year when I was now even, speaking about it among, a group of people like I'm doing these days. But if you were to meet me, you would never know, because I would never mention it. I'm not one who loves to be treated like a victim. I had this negative mindset about kindness. I always viewed it as pity, and so I would reject it a lot. But then I'm actually, the more I've been walking down my path of healing, I've been actually taking, note of how people have just been kind to me. Sometimes I'm even shocked, like, I meet like Sis Nora, and she just, you know, I'm curious about the lesson she's been giving on the Zoom. I'm up in a WhatsApp like that, and then she's like, just because you've been the first single person to want to understand better on finances, I'm offering you this course for free, you know, like that. Even Dr. Kadochi, he also came out like that. If he is like, because you've been so eager to want to know, because I had attended a Zoom meeting that he was hosting, and he was describing how a dismissive avoidant behaves, the patterns that they actually show. And I was relating so much with that. I was all up in his Zoom inbox again, you know, like, Doc, is this like, you know, showing my curiosity, wanting to learn more. He gives me his WhatsApp number, and then he says, I'm going to offer you my service for free. It costs this much, but for you, I'm doing this for free. You see what God has done for me. I have been comforted so much through the kindness of the people or God has put around me. So you too, I'm so sure every one of us has a support system. And when I go back to the International Day of Friendship thing I mentioned, we will need to actually start believing people are willing to be kind to us and are willing to actually support our journey. But it will only come when we decide that we actually want to heal. When you decide that you are going to heal, I promise you the pathways for you to actually find the resources that you need will show up for you. Some people call that the laws of the universe. That what you constantly think about is what the universe brings to you. I've been realizing that for me, I've experienced so much kindness in my life. You know, it's like when I get into a space, people have this understanding that this person just needs to be cuddled. I call it cuddling. Kindness, to me, I describe it. You know, those warm embraces that cause you to tear up. That's been my experience. And it's been growing all the more. The more I'm deciding I'm going to heal, I'm just seeing so much kindness. You know, on the Wednesday when that I'm mentioning, that I actually broke down and I was even shocked. I thought I was going to, you know, keep my act together. And then someone a few days after that was in my inbox telling me, you know, an encouraging word. I've not met this young lady, but she was sharing exactly the stuff that I have, you know, some of the stuff that I have been writing down as a way of encouragement, you know. Yeah, I believe in a speaking God, and it was like I was awestruck, you know, the way she took out time. This young lady, she took out time, because I remember on the call that on the Wednesday, I was even asking, you know, I was asking people to help me pray so I can, you know, get over that episode that I was experiencing. It was bad. The pain was so bad, because I remember even, you know, lying down on the floor, literally lying down on the floor just so I could cry proper. Yeah, because I felt like I was saying, I felt like my heart was being, you know, twisted into a knot so much that it was becoming difficult for me even to continue, you know, having a normal heart pump. It was that painful. And then this young lady decides to take it up and, you know, give me a word of encouragement. She took it to heart. You see, if that's not kindness, then I don't know what is. You know, I'm sharing this, my experience on my healing journey, so that someone becomes encouraged to start walking. You know, the resources, you will meet the resources when you start walking. Because the truth of the matter is that, let's say I want to get to Harare and I'm sitting right here in my room in Kariba. No matter how much I wish to get to Harare, as long as I don't you know, take my bath and then get to Nyamunga, because here there are night buses also. As long as I don't take that action to get to the night bus, I will still wish all I want to be in Harare. And I'll still remain in Kariba. Why? Because I did not take the necessary steps that will get me to Harare. I did not look for the transportation that gets me there. So, you know, so by the same manner on the healing journey, it means you're going to have to start to walk in the direction of healing. Yes, we may say maybe I don't have money to pay for the psychotherapist or whatnot, but there are free books. There's one which I shared, is it 2 weeks ago, entitled Changes That Heal. You know, there are apps on this internet. Oh, we thank God for internet. Yes, it has availed so much for us for free. Like I'm saying, I've read so many books on healing, so much, and when it becomes better for me, because as I read and I start to relate with what's being written, I get to understand myself better, you know, because when you are, you know, acting out and you're all angry and you cannot even put a finger on how to address those things, it's really easy to just ignore and be like, maybe this is just who I am, this is just how I am. But because I've been exposing myself to even books that talk about healing, I'm now being able to actually identify myself in what is being written there, because people will have taken their time out to actually read these things, you know, read on these things so that they can provide solutions for someone to heal. I used to actually think there were no resources for that journey for a long time, but the moment I decided that I was going to walk it, I have been meeting so it's like an algorithm, you know, on these social media apps. The more I open, say, some comedian, you'll find suggested for you, so many suggestions on the pathway of the comedy. Yes. So by the same token, the moment your mind decides you're going to heal, you'll find that the universe will open up for you so much that you'll find that you will have exactly what you need for your healing journey. And just like we talk in our department that it may be the manner of how you were injured may be different, but usually the technique for healing is the same. Did you know? Like someone may come and say, I got a fracture, you know, a broken bone by falling down a mango tree. And someone may say, I was at work and a metal, you know, maybe I'm running out of even a thought of any name of you know, a tool, a work, you know, those heavy work tools. Let's say a sledgehammer. Yeah, you know, say someone who missed, you know, whatever they wanted to hit and hit someone else's foot and it got broken. To us, it's a fracture. The one who fell off the tree and the one who had their leg hit by a sledgehammer and the one who was involved in a car accident, those remain fractures. And so that means the technique for dealing with a fracture is to get an x-ray done, see how, if there's any displacement. If there is, then we do what we call manipulation under anesthesia, and we apply our plaster cast there. We give you, if it's your lower limb, your foot, your leg, you get your 6 weeks in that plaster. You come back, we do a check x-ray to see if there's new bone formation. The healing process becomes the same when you find the right resources. You know, it may seem huge, it may seem too big a task before you start, but the moment you decide you're going to heal, you will find these resources. You know, you will need to pay with your time, even with your money, but I believe the cost of healing is way better than you know, remaining in a place of, you know, continuous pain. And I pray someone gets to start to view this journey of healing the same, because beyond the pain that you have been experiencing, that you've been carrying for so long, there is so much that you have to give to the world. But then it will start with you deciding that you're going to heal, because if you don't heal, that's where you'll be giving a narrative of negativity around you. That's when you find, like, if you are given a mic, all you'll be saying is how cruel men are, how cruel the world is, and all those things. And that will become your story. And yet you have so much, light within you to share with people around you that will actually help them, encourage them to also start their own journeys of healing. It may not be, sitting before a screen like this, but then even in your small space there, you may find that there are people who actually need to just hear that there is life beyond being sexually abused. There is happiness you can actually genuinely feel because you chose to finally put down the heavy weights of what you've been carrying for so long, So tonight, I think I have spoken enough. I hope someone is encouraged to actually change their mind. Yes. Yeah. So may someone just, decide to heal, change your mind about how you view yourself, and you will find that even the world will now start to respond to how you now start. The more, you carry yourself as a person of worth because you believe you're a person of worth, you'll find that even how the world comes at you will be with so much joy and such a welcoming, atmosphere becomes your experience. Like I was telling you, for myself, I don't want to lie, I have experienced so much comfort that comes in the form of, immense kindness, a level of kindness that's even overwhelming for me. I just stop to think and I'm like, wow. You'll be wondering, but why, how is it that they offered this thing for free that costs so much? For some of us who love to actually try to see the straight path, see the way where a turn took place. Yeah, there's some of us who love things what can I call it? We are not as spontaneous. We want to see the pathway that something is taking before we can actually believe for it to be real. If we're going to be going to Harare, I want to know, okay, we are going to come out of here. What are we going to use to get to Nyamunga? Which bus are we going to board? What time is it going to arrive in Harare? And when you get to Harare, because when you go by the night bus, usually you get to Harare around 2 a.m. When you get to Harare, are we going to stay on the bus till the breaking of dawn? Or are we going to get a taxi, or are we going to get a trusted relative to get us home? We are those people who want to see the plan before we even walk. But yeah, help me God, I'll need to now learn to, be more spontaneous. It's a learning curve, yes. You may not have the full picture of how your healing journey will work out, but I encourage you to just start by changing your mind, deciding that you are still really a person of worth in spite of what you have been through, because that's the truth about you. You really are worth love, you're worth the care, you're worth the attention, you're worth the kindness, the comfort for what you've been through. Start believing it, and it will soon become your experience. And even start taking the necessary steps towards your healing. So be encouraged, somebody. We meet again hopefully next week, if I don't get any challenge with network and whatnot, I'll surely be, giving an update here. Thank you so much for spending time with me here, and for whoever also be able to watch this later. Yes, bye bye.